Welcome back to another video with Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach, and my goal is to help both men and women be in relationships that's best for them. So, yesterday I talked about wisdom, how to seek it from the right source, and my take on a few things. Well, now I am going to talk about how to apply wisdom in your relationships, and particularly romantic relationships. Again, you can use this in all areas of your life, in all forms of relationships. But I'm going to be talking about romantic relationships and a little bit of femininity for women, and how, as a man, you can exude your masculinity by applying this wisdom. So let's get to it. As we mentioned before, there's a difference between a wise person and a person who is just simply knowledgeable. They have the degrees, they have the knowledge per se, the book smarts, the textbook knowledge, but they are in some ways foolish. They don't know how to apply common sense. They don't have street smarts. Then you have a person who is just straight up foolish. And this is a person who does not understand, or they just don't even want to hear any truth to anything. They just want to hear what they want to hear, do what they want to do. They don't take into account consequences. They don't look towards the future and say, hey, if I do this, this is going to affect me in the future. They do that, I'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. I'll do now and apologize later, right? So we want to be wise. A wise person does act now so the future can have positive results based on the results or based on the decisions they currently made. So when you think about a person who wants to work out, they put in all of the hard work now so they can have the results they want. And that is a wise person. And this applies to relationships, not just in the gym, not just at school, not just to get that degree or that promotion you want, but you want to apply this in relationships. So everything I'm telling you, it is something I've done, right? And it's something, if I were in that particular situation, I would do it that way. A lot of things I'm talking about, I have been through, I have done. So many people, as I said, are in relationships longer than they should be in, both men and women. You know the relationship is toxic. Maybe you knew it was toxic even before going into the relationship. Like you knew that person, their behavior, their character, their principles, their values, what they stood for was unhealthy. All right, that's what toxic is, unhealthy. You knew it was toxic, or maybe you didn't, but it was revealed to you and you stayed in that relationship instead of having crossroads. Now, I've had crossroads. I've had to come to a point where I say, you know what, this is a principle that I do not stand for. This is not what I value, and this has to change, or the relationship status is going to have to change. What that means is the person who's for you is going to change for the better, because what you're asking them to do is healthy. Of course, there's your delivery and how you do it. And then there's, the timing and when you say things. So you want to make sure you are in your femininity when you're saying things during crossroads. Now, if this person's not for you, they're not going to make any change, and then you go about your business. You gracefully walk away as a woman, and you be a man about it, and you walk away. You don't beg to be in a relationship with someone who does not want you, who does not want to marry you, who does not want to further the relationship, strengthen the relationship. You walk away as a man. If you are a woman and someone is saying, I don't mind us being friends, or I don't mind us being buddies, but I don't want, and you know what kind of buddies I'm talking about. I don't mind us doing this. I don't mind it being casual. I don't mind us having casual relations. However, I don't want a relationship. What is there still to talk about? You don't need to know why they're saying this. You don't need to you don't need to think about all the details behind it. You just need to say, okay. Why? Because they're obviously currently not on the same page as you. Whether they're emotionally unavailable because something happened in their life, or they just don't want to be with you, it does not matter. What matters is they're telling you they don't want what you want. And if they don't want what you want, then you should walk away. I've had to do that. I've had to walk away from situations that was not in my best interest. I had to walk away from relationships that was not advantageous to either one of us, or that was not going to build a healthy relationship. I've had to stop talking to people right? And we're talking about all romantic relationships. I've been in relationships where I've had to set boundaries, because that's what crossroads are. Essentially, you're setting boundaries, and the person is saying, okay, I won't cross them anymore, or I don't care what you say, I don't care about your boundaries, and you need to just, handle it appropriately. I've had to, I've been in situations where, because I tell people this and they say, well, you don't know my situation. I've been in a lot of situations that are similar to you, right? I've been in situations where people didn't feel the same way I felt about them. And that's okay. You'll find someone that will. You can't make people feel the same way you feel about them. You can't make people marry you. You can't make people want to be with you. You can't make people want to have a serious relationship with you. All you can do is do you. And they have to come on their end and reciprocate that same effort. Now, if you're not applying the effort, you don't need to be worrying about why this person isn't doing this and this and that. The relationship is dead anyway. It's dead because there was either already other toxic things, so this one little thing does not matter, or you won't even put in the same effort. So why do you expect to get 100% out of them when you didn't put 100%? You didn't have 100% respect, or 100% trust, or 100% love, 100% understanding, but you want them to give you all of that. Everything you want, you should give it 100, 110%. And then when they don't do that, then the relationship is dead. Now, sometimes you may have been in a toxic relationship, and then you have to prove to yourself, I'm going to make a change. So you start to give 110%, and they may not give it right away. But you have to understand that's a process. You're trying to transition from this type of behavior to this, and they want to see that you are genuine. So they're going to watch what you do. When they realize, man, this person is changing, either they're going to bring you down, they're either going to exit their relationship, or they're going to make a change. Either way, there's going to be some result on their part, and based on what they do after that month or so and seeing that you're genuine, then you can go from there. I think that sometimes people have an attachment. You want to be with someone so bad because they're familiar, they're all you know, not because of your genuine love for them. Again, I want you to apply these things. There's people that I coach, and I say, they tell me their issue, and I provide just advice. I see them next time. How did everything go? Oh, I didn't do so and so. Okay, well, how did that work out for you? Oh, it didn't work out. But you're right, I'm going to do what you said. Time comes again, they don't do it. Now, you don't have to listen to me, but don't wonder why things aren't changing for you if you're not making the change. Your life changes to the degree in which you make the change. So if you're not making any changes, there's nothing going to happen. A lot of times people are waiting on other people to change. And maybe the other person should change. But if you focus on you, that's the application. A lot of times we point the blame. A lot of times we say, well, this person is doing this. This person is doing that. These people aren't doing this. This mindset is like that. Why should I try? If you are a woman and you're talking about there's not enough leaders and masculine men, ask yourself, am I feminine enough? Am I approachable enough? Am I graceful enough? Am I loving enough? Am I kind and compassionate enough? Because sometimes people use this femininity and they're really using dark femininity, whether they have a seductive spirit on them, or maybe they have this spirit of, I'm going to be a user. Maybe they have this thing of, I'm going to take, and people can see that and feel that, so they use you for whatever they want because they know you're using them. So we're not talking about dark femininity. We're talking about a woman who is like a Proverbs 31 woman. She is loving, she is kind, she is beautiful, she is a person that is approachable. You can come to her. You feel compassion and love from her, right? So this is a woman who is good to her children if she has them. She is good to the people around her. She's not this angry, bitter woman who looks like she has a resting bee face, who's always angry, who's always getting in quarrels and with many people, who's argumentative with every man that she's with. We're talking about a woman who is essentially wise. That's what we're talking about, because I talked about what a wife is, and part of being a wife is being wise, because you have to know when to speak, when not to, when to make certain, say certain things and when not to. And we talked about earlier about knowing when to say certain things when you're at a crossroad, when you are disappointed, when you're upset, how to say things. Your delivery is so important because you want people to hear what you're having to say. This is called application. And then if you are a man, you want to make sure you're doing the same thing. So you have to understand, okay, am I doing what I need to do in this relationship? Am I loving her the way I need to? I want her to show me respect. Am I showing her respect? Because a lot of times people want things, but they're not reciprocating. And they're wondering why they're not getting it. Well, you're not getting it because you're not showing it. They're probably thinking, man, this person's a hypocrite. They say they want respect, they want trust, they want love, but I get none of those things from them. I say, I love and respect my husband. And you know, it's easy to do that when you have someone who treats you the same. When someone adores you, treats you right, loving them is easy. It makes you want to do those things for them. It makes you want to go over and beyond. How many times have you gone over and beyond for a job that you didn't like? You go over and beyond for a passion, for a job you like. Of course, you want to be the best that you can be, but people who tend to go over and beyond, they have a passion for it. They like it. They respect what they do. They respect the person that's in charge or over that. They respect the things about it. So if you respect your man, if you believe that he is a great man, a great provider, a great person, have great character, great morals, great principles, the things he says he does, how could you not want that? How would you not want to be intimate with that person, be loving with that person, talk to that person, have that person be your best friend? Why would you not want to? The only person who wouldn't be is a foolish person. And I tell people often, I'll be a fool to leave my husband. I'll be a fool to leave that, because any woman would want a man who treats them right, respects them, loves them, serves them in many ways. And there's so many women that just want a man who alone has a job or just treats them right. I'd be a fool to leave someone like that. And I'll tell people in a hot minute, I talk about boundaries often, how you should set boundaries, especially with people from the opposite gender, even those with the same gender, because sometimes women will mess you up with the things that they say. So you can't take advice from everyone, especially from single women who are bitter. Not to say that no one who can offer good advice, but people who are bitter, who's not out to help you, but they're out to hurt you. Girl, yeah, yeah, your man, yeah, he ain't all that. I told you all men are crazy. No, you don't want those kind of women. You want a woman who has had positive males in her life, that she can see the good and bad in men. And when I say good and bad, that means she has a reality, not a reality check. Not that she just thinks all men are great and there's nothing wrong, because then she's naive. And then she won't learn and grow when she's in certain situations. And then you don't want someone who sees the negative in everything, because then you'll miss out on someone who's good because you're looking for something negative. You want someone who is balanced, who can give you genuine advice. Yeah, that wasn't right what he did. However, this is how I think you should handle it, so you can still be poised and have your composure. Or, girl, you're tripping. You want someone who is honest with you, who's balanced and well-rounded. And so seeking wise counsel is good, but it's not enough to seek it, ask for it, and then you don't even apply it to your life. You don't even use it. So you may say, oh, I learned all of this. This woman is talking a good game. And then you go right around and turn around to the man that you say you love and say some horrible things out your mouth. You say all this, and you say you want respect, you this kind of man, you masculine, and you're not going to beat your chest and yell and curse her out, but then you turn her right around and call her the B word. What you hear, if it's good information, try applying it to your life. Will everything work out in your favor? No. And I think this is the issue with the whole rule and exception to the rule. Everyone thinks that they're an exception to the rule. This should apply to them. This happened to their friend, so why it didn't happen for you? Why didn't this advice happen for you? Because it's the person that's the exception. not the situation. The situation is not an exception. Because typically, with this situation, you will apply these same set of facts. However, depending on the person, you make different changes. So I'll give you an example. Stealing is wrong. And this is, I'm just saying something basic. Stealing is wrong. People who steal will be reprimanded, go to jail, or whatever have you, depending on the levels of it, right? A person who stole because they were hungry, you may want to handle it differently. Not to say they wouldn't ever be reprimanded, but you'd handle it differently, right? The situation is still the same. They still get reprimanded, but how you handle things are different depending on the person. So let's take it in a relationship. For a relationship where this is a no-no, you most likely would leave. Most people would tell you this is a relationship that you should not be in. However, depending on this person, okay, they may have genuinely been remorseful and truly want to make a change in their lives. You may say, you know what? I'm going to offer you and I'm going to extend you grace. The situation would still be applicable that this is the situation you would leave, but because of the person, because they did something different than what most people do, they're remorseful, they truly are turning around an immediate change, they are an exception to the rule. Not the situation. They are an exception to the rule. And a lot of times you as a person may think you are exceptional. So everything should apply as an exception for you. No, the general rule applies. There's only small circumstances where a person is an exception to the rule. And so I say a lot of times a person can be in an exception to the rule based on their mindset. Sometimes people put themselves in unfortunate predicaments, but their mindset makes it all the world of difference. Their change, their tenacity to do and be something different, their intentionality to grow and for an immediate change, it can change their situation around where someone else, where it took longer, that situation may not change. So if you are a person who wants something to happen drastically in your life in a positive direction, it requires a drastic change in your life. Starting today, I pray that you make changes in your life for the better immediately. Watch how things that would have typically gone bad change. So if you want an exception, change immediately. I mean, start immediately today. Everything you say and do, be intentional and make sure it's intentional towards a healthy and positive goal, not a selfish goal, but how can I help others? How can I help myself be better? How can I protect my brand? How can I protect my future? What can I do today to make an immediate change? What can I do without whining and crying about how life is giving me lemons? What can I do now to make lemonade immediately? I mean, make a strong change and watch how things change. They say you put in half of the effort, you're going to get half of the results. Put in more than 100%. Put in 110%. Give it all you got and go dig for some more. Because you say you want to change. So if you want to see a change in your relationships, if you're trying to find a man, stop finding him. He's going to find you. Work hard and changing who you are. I mean, be more approachable, be more loving, be more compassionate. Work on you to the 100th degree. Work on your body. Work on just your whole mindset as a whole of being a better person. Work on that change. The minute you work on it, someone's going to be like, I see this person. She looking good. She talking right. Watch. You'll see that change. And then if you're a man, do you work on getting your money up. Work on being the best version of yourself. Walk in your masculinity. No need to be doing all of this huffing and puffing and trying to force people to follow your lead. When you do you, people are going to see the leader in you and they're going to respect you. They may not like you, but they're going to respect you, and women will too. I have a book called How to Get Respect from the Woman You Want. Why? That's applicable to my life. Things that my husband didn't like, he said, I don't like this and I want this to change. This is how I see respect. And guess what? I did it. And I'm telling you, this is a lot of the stuff that was written was I got all this from male advice. Years and years of just asking and men question, getting their advice. And this is how I've come to a lot of these things in writing my book. Also listening to a lot of women and what they look for and how they would respect a man. This is how I come to it. You're getting advice from a woman, what a woman would do to show respect. So I'm providing you that. Don't worry, ladies. I still have a book coming out for you. I am working diligently on that book. I am working on that book for teenagers. The teenager book is Boy Bye, and the book for women is Girl Go Get Your Husband. Still working on the editing process. I'll get that book out to you. It's not going to be as thin as the men's book, because the men's book is supposed to be a quick read, so they can make an immediate change without having to go days and days reading. Right? So I want you to make a change in your life so you can see exceptional results. But again, a lot of people think they are the exception to the rule. The rule applies in most general situations. So when I'm providing you this is mostly the general rule. I mean, you would have to do a coaching for me to see that there's an exception to the rule, to know, okay, well, this situation is different. This person is different. So you would handle it differently. How their action or interaction in that particular conflict is different, so we handle it differently. You may not cut them off. You may extend grace and mercy. So hopefully that you learn to apply these things in your life today, because there's no good to have all of this knowledge up here and you never execute it. Right? It's just like going to school. Why apply all this knowledge and you never use the skills which you've learned? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll have another video coming in to you next week. Happy holidays. Well, holidays is over, but Happy New Year once again. Take care.